welcome back to the channel, or welcome for the first time. It's nice to see you here. My name is Linda, and I'm here today to watch Supernatural, which is a show that I have definitely already seen many times. It's my favorite show of all times. And Dean Winchester is absolutely my favorite fictional character to ever exist. If you have been to my channel before, you may have come across edits that I've done, video edits to different songs for Supernatural in general and Dean in particular. But yeah, so those are there. I have definitely seen every episode countless times. I found the show in the pandemic. I had watched chunks of it before, little like episodes here and there. I never really properly watched it though, and so then just before the pandemic hit, my daughter and I decided to try to watch it. I think we started in like February of 2019, and then the pandemic hit, and we were like, hey, let's binge watch it. And so we did that, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. Like I said, when I saw it before, it was sort of out of order and context, and I didn't really know what I was watching, and so then to actually finally watch it from the beginning and see everything play out the way it was supposed to made so much more sense, and it just connected. And I think during the pandemic, it was, for me anyway, personally, it was definitely a time where the message of the show, the idea that you push through and you persevere and you always keep fighting, that's a message that hit close to home for me, and I know for many other people. A lot of people, I think, found the show during the pandemic, and then of course there are those that were along for the entire 15-year ride, which I'm both envious of and very happy to have not had to go through. Especially the early seasons, wondering and trying to guess whether or not you were going to get another season. I just couldn't imagine that. You know, you think about some of the endings of some of the seasons and wondering whether it was going to come back. That would have killed me. So in some ways, I am very grateful that I got to just click next while watching the end of season 2, for example, or the episode 21 of season 2. Hitting next was a gift, but I think it would have been cool to be in the fandom the entire time as well. That's cool. But anyway, that's the plan. I'm going to rewatch and discuss, hopefully with you all in the comments and over on Patreon. I do have a Patreon. It'll be linked in the description below if you want to see full-length reactions, early reactions. I also have a little incentive for those who want to join me over on Patreon. Everybody gets a 10 to 15 minute reaction. Each of my patrons will have a 10 to 15 minute reaction of anything they'd like to see me react to. Every month the patrons get that, so if you feel like coming on over and joining, that would be great. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into Supernatural. This is the pilot, season 1, episode 1. Lawrence, Kansas. Oh, Kansas. That is a creepy tree.
Come on, let's say goodnight to your brother.
Right down.
Good night, love.
This came out in 2015, or 2005.
Hey, buddy. Oh. So what do you think?
2005 was
No, Daddy.
18 years ago.
Got him.
I got it.
A baby's a fully grown man. I think it's an incredible testament to the show, to the cast and crew and showrunners and directors and everyone involved in the show, that so many actors were willing to come back over and over again as recurring characters. Samantha Smith being one of them. To think that this was just a little sort of one-off pilot that she did, and then, you know, season 12, all of a sudden, boom, she's back sort of full-time. Or I mean, not full-time, but it just proves that there was probably something very special about that set, which is, as the guys have said many times, that's not always the case, so it's very cool. We're gonna cut Mary some slack here and say that it's been like 10 years since she's had to really think about any Huntery stuff, so I'm sure that, and you know, she's an exhausted, hi actual John, she's an exhausted mom, so we'll say that she just didn't think about the flickering lights and what that meant.
Mary!
The first time, I remember the first time watching this, I was sure that that wasn't John. Because I thought he, like, got, just the way the visual was, it looked like he got sort of swept up in the fire. And I remember thinking, like, oh my gosh, that's not their dad. That's the bad guy. You know, because the other thing being that the person, which of course now we know is the yellow-eyed demon, but that was standing there kind of looked like John, right? And so I remember thinking, like, oh my gosh, it's not actually him. It's him. But yeah, because he just kind of like swept out of nowhere. Oh, what a shot. Poor babies.
You coming or what?
Do I have to?
Yes.
He's
It'll
such
be
a
fun.
baby. It's crazy.
And where's your costume?
I watched Jared
You know
first
how I feel
in
about Halloween.
Gilmore Girls. He was Dean to me first before Dean was Dean. And I loved him on that show. I love that show.
So here's
and he was great
awesome
in the role of Dean
It's
Forrester.
not that big a deal.
He acts so humble, but he scored a 174.
And so it's
Very good.
funny to see him this age again. Sometimes I'll rewatch Gilmore Girls and just chuckle
Actually,
at
I got an
the
interview
baby
here
that he is.
Monday.
I know it.
What would I do without you?
Crash and burn.
I was so sure watching this the first time too that as soon as she was like, when he was like, "What would I do without you?" and she was like, "Crash and burn," I was like, "Oh gosh, she's dead." I had no expectation that she was gonna die the way she died though. That came out of nowhere and completely blew me away. But I was like, "Oh, he's gonna lose her." Like that's just like famous last words. I was sure he was gonna lose her. I didn't realize he was going to lose her quite that quickly, and certainly not in the way he does, but it's just heartbreaking. Ah, my Dean! I'm fine. I'm not obsessed or anything. I have also come to realize that hopefully, I imagine, we're meant to believe that it's darker for them. Because how could he possibly not recognize Dean? But
Crap out of me. It's because you're out of practice.
I think the lighting and stuff is more for our benefit than them. I think we're supposed to believe that it's darker
What the hell are you doing
for them.
I was looking for a beer.
What the hell are you doing here?
Okay, all right. We gotta talk.
The
Ugh.
phone?
If I'd have called, would you
This
have picked
whole scene hits so different after the finale.
Jess.
It
Hey.
makes me want to cry. I'm fine.
Dean, this is my girlfriend, Jessica.
up? Dad's on a hunting trip. And he hasn't been home in a few days. I can't do this alone.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to.
Ugh. Those who have seen the finale know. They know. It's just painful. And it was such a sweet line to begin with. It was actually really, it was really cute, you know, because I mean,
Alright.
Dean is this like,
Let's see, where the hell did I put that thing?
I'm
So
too
Dad
cool,
left. Why
I'm
didn't you go
fine,
with
I don't need
I was working my
anyone
own gig. This
kind
food
of
thing,
guy.
allowance.
But he was
Dad let you go on
allowed
a
himself
trip
to
by
be vulnerable
yourself.
enough to admit to
I'm 26,
Sam that
dude.
he needed him.
Alright,
Right? He
here we
didn't
go.
want to do it by himself.
So Dad was checking
And
out
so
this two-lane
that's
blacktop
automatically
just outside
already
Jericho, California.
a sweet
About a month ago, this
line,
guy
and
they
so
found
then
his
you
car,
add
but he'd vanished completely MIA.
the finale into it and all the
So
meaning
maybe he was
behind it.
kidnapped.
Yeah, well, here's another one in April, another one in
It just
December
makes it even
04,
more
03, 98,
heartbreaking and
92,
beautiful.
10 of them over the past 20.
It's interesting
I'll
too
be fine.
because
But I have to
you know,
go
there's a
back
lot,
first thing
especially
Monday.
in this little chunk,
Just wait
in this
here.
sequence from
What's
when
first
they're
thing Monday?
alone together there and they start
I
coming
have
down the stairs. This whole
I have an interview.
part
What,
of
a
this
job
of
interview?
the
Skip
episode
it.
has a lot of, you know, backstory
It's a
and
law school
explanation and
interview, and it's my whole future
sort of
on
an
a plate.
exposition dump, but
Awesome.
and there's parts
So
of
we
it
got a
that
deal or not?
feels a little like an exposition dump, but the boys have such chemistry and they do such a great
Wait,
job
you're
right
taking
from
off?
the
Is this
get-go
about your dad? Is he
of
alright?
making it
Yeah, you know,
natural,
just a little family
and
drama.
you know, they do
My
sell
brother said he
the
was on some kind of hunting
the
trip.
backstory and the exposition
Yeah, he's
relatively
just deer
naturally,
hunting up at the
which
cabin, and he's
again, not
probably
everyone
got
would be
Jim,
able to
Jack,
do.
and
So
Jose along with him. We're just gonna go bring
It's-
him back.
they
What
were
about the
fantastic
interview?
from the beginning. Oh, this dude.
Amy, I
Such
can't
an
come over
idiot.
tonight. Because I got work in the morning, that's why. Okay, I miss it. My dad's gonna have my ass. Hey, Amy, let me call you back.
Dude, she's glitching. She glitched. She's glitching. And he's just like, it's normal. It's fine. It's just a ridiculously hot woman glitching on the side of the road. That happens all the time.
Take me home.
Wow.
Sure, get in.
That's a lot of horny. That allows a dude to just be like, hey, random glitching woman, come into my car. It's fine. Well, she doesn't create a shadow either. That's cool. I mean, he can't see that, I guess, but...
So, where do you live?
You have a girlfriend, jackass. Do you remember the one that you were just telling that
Do
you
you think I'm pretty?
couldn't come over because your dad would be mad? You know, the...
Will you come
Remember
home with
her?
me?
No?
Hell yeah.
Didn't even hesitate. Didn't think about it. Wasn't like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I mean, I have this girlfriend that I was just lying to. He's just like, yeah. This dude.
Come on. You don't live here.
Really?
I can
That's
never
your
go
reaction?
What are you talking about? Nobody even lives here.
No,
Oh,
nobody
really?
does live there. You are correct. Oh, and now she's just gone from the car. So your reaction should be, oh, that's creepy as hell. Bye-bye.
Joke's over, okay?
Yeah. It's a hilarious joke.
You want me to
It's really
leave?
funny. You should want to leave. I mean, I don't care if you leave because you're a moron, but you should take into account everything that's happened, put your boner away, and go home. My dude. Oh boy.
Hello?
Hello? Hot girl in the creepiest house known to man? Hello?
Hello?
Oh boy. I love that after all these things, she creepily glitching on the side of the road, weirdly inviting him back to her house of horrors, disappearing from out of the car. None of these things scared him. A pigeon was the thing that he couldn't take. After everything, the pigeon got him and made him leave. You are so dead. And the very first supernatural blood splatter is shown. Classic.
Sounds about right. I swear, man, you gotta update your cassette tape collection.
Why?
Well, for one, they're cassette tapes. And two, Black Sabbath, Motorhead, Metallica. It's the greatest hits
Metallica
of
rocks.
mullet rock.
Well, house rules, Sammy. Driver picks the music. Shotgun shuts his cake hole.
My daughter, for Christmas, got me a tote bag that has that line on it. Driver picks the music, shotgun shuts his cake hole. I love it. Baby, she's so beautiful. I love that car. And I am a person who's never cared anything about cars. When you ask me what kind of car, like what kind of car is it, I'm like, I don't know, a red one. I have no ability to discern cars, but that is a beautiful, beautiful car, and I love her. I want a 1965 Impala so badly. I can't even drive. I don't care. I just want to live in the car. Get somebody else to drive me around in it.
No sign
She's
of
so
struggle.
pretty.
No foot.
And who are you?
Federal marshals.
Federal
You're a
Marshal.
little
Just
young
like,
for marshals, aren't you?
Thanks, that's awfully kind of you. You did have another one just like this, correct?
Yeah, that's
just
right.
go
About
in
a mile up
confident.
the road. There have been others before that. So
Well, that is exactly the kind of crack police work I'd expect out of you guys.
Thank you for your time.
Dean's absolute lack of respect for authority of any kind makes me exceedingly happy. We're such brothers, like immediately. I love it.
Come on, they don't really know what's going on.
It's not
We're all
necessarily
alone
like,
on this. I mean,
but
if we're
just
gonna find
his
Dad, we've got to get to the bottom
Dean's
of this thing
like
ourselves.
refusal to just kowtow to authority. I
Can I
guess
help
should
you
say
boys?
is the thing that I love.
No,
One
sir,
of
we
the
were just
many things
leaving.
I love about him.
Agent Mulder, Agent Scully.
All those freckles don't hurt either. Adorable, adorable, baby Dean.
If it weren't for pictures, I wouldn't even know what Mom looks like. What difference would it make? Even if we do find the thing that killed her, Mom's gone. And she isn't coming back.
I'll give it like a decade. Ish.
Don't talk about her like that.
Oh boy, these two. So rude.
What the?
Who's driving your car?
Sorry, I keep bumping my mouse here. It keeps... Zigzag, guys! Zigzag!
All right, why don't you see if you can find an address? I'm gonna get cleaned up.
Hey, Dean. What I said earlier about Mom and
More
Dad, I'm
classic.
sorry.
No chick flick moments,
All right. Jerk.
bitch.
Only in the supernatural fandom and family would the words jerk and bitch evoke so much nostalgia and happy feelings.
Fake credit cards. You got anything that's real?
My boobs.
You have the right to remain silent.
Have I mentioned that I love him? I love him.
Mr. Welch, you ever hear of a woman in white?
I like Jared's little
What?
choice
A
that he
woman
does
in
there,
white,
his little acting
or
choice,
sometimes
where
weeping woman.
you can see Sam kind of
It's a
debating
ghost story.
whether he is
Well,
just going to let it lie,
It's more of a
or
phenomenon.
whether he is
really.
going to
They're spirits.
sort of
They've been sighted
take the
for
lead
hundreds of years.
as a hunter
Dozens of places
and
in
follow
Hawaii,
the
Mexico, lately
follow
in
his instincts,
Arizona,
follow the story,
Indiana.
follow the
All these are
leads,
different women, you
and
understand.
keep
But
questioning
all share
him,
the same story.
because the Sam that
Boy,
went to
I don't
Stanford
care
and
what's
just
nonsense.
sort of lived his life
See, when they were
probably wouldn't
alive,
have done that.
Their husbands
But
were unfaithful
he
to
makes
them.
the decision. You can see him making the
And these
decision
women,
to
basically
pursue it.
suffering from temporary insanity, murdered their children.
A cool moment that Jared put in there.
Sam! Sam!
Yikes.
Take me home.
No thank you. No thank you. Bye-bye. Get out of the car, please.
Take me home.
No.
No.
Rude. You are not playing by your own little ghosty rules. He said no. You have to go away now. Poor Sam. He was literally just like studying for some law exams,
I can never go home.
and now he's like being driven to the creepiest house in the
You're
world
scared to go home.
with no ability to stop her. Ah.
Me. I'm so cold.
Nope. Get a blanket if you're
Kill
cold.
me. I'm
Get
not
off.
unfaithful. I've never been.
You will be.
That's not really how that works.
Just hold me.
I said no. You are way creepy. Ew. You are significantly less attractive than your real form. So gross.
I'm taking you home.
Oh, Sam. Just baby being the badass hunter that she is.
Sam!
You've come home to us, Mommy.
Yikes. Creepy children will always be the very creepiest. Well, thank you. I don't want hugs right now. No hugging. And you know, for like a 2005 at the time WB TV show, you know, I mean, with not a whole lot of budget, it's pretty decent special effects. I think. It's very creepy, kind of grotesque, but good.
Nice work, Sammy.
Yeah, I wish I could
Such
say
a
the
big
same for
brother.
you. What were you thinking, shooting Casper in the face, you freak?
Hey. Saved your ass.
She's fine. She's good. She goes through way worse. She's winking at us, but she's good.
If we shag ass, we can make it by morning.
Dana,
Is that a Dean expression or like
You're not going.
an
the
American
interview's in
expression?
like 2
I'm
hours.
Canadian.
I gotta be there.
I've literally never heard anyone use the expression, if we shag ass, we can get there.
Never. I'll
I,
take you home.
I can't tell whether that's an American euphemism or a Dean euphemism. But shag ass does not, it does not sound like that's what it should mean. But okay.
You call me if you find him. Maybe I can meet up with you later, huh?
Yeah, all right. Sam,
My boys.
you know, we made a hell of a team back there.
Yeah.
Yes, you did. This moment. It's the last thing in the world I expected.
No!
Friggin' yellow-eyed demon, man.
Sam! Sam! No! No! We gotta get out! No!
The parallels in this episode are so well done. You know, just the parallels between obviously what happens to Mary and what happens to Jess, but even just like the way it's shot, the fact that Dean has to save Sam, get him out of the room and out of the house. It's just very well written parallels. And even like the way the lighting is shot in this last scene, compared to how the lighting and stuff is in that first scene when John is holding the kids on the car. It's just, there's a lot of very cool directing and acting and writing parallels. Poor Sam.
We got work to do.
Classic. Wow. Okay, so that was season 1, episode 1, the pilot of Supernatural. You know, after all this time and I've seen the pilot many, many times, it still hits on all levels. And it's such a great first introduction to the boys and to the world and the, you know, a little bit of the lore. And obviously, you know, there's a lot of lore behind Mary and the Yellow-Eyed Demon and everything that happens with her and Jess. And so the introduction of all of that is pretty fantastic. Yeah, I still, it still hits. I still really enjoy it. Yeah, I love rewatching it. I love all of the parallels going forward through, like, even I was just thinking when watching that last bit where, you know, Sam picks up the cookie or whatever that Jess has left, that she's cooked for him, baked for him, in I think it's like season 5, maybe episode like 20. It was when Sam and Dean and Crowley meet with, I think his name is Brady. He's that demon that was Sam's friend in school, and that we find out in that episode that he was the one who actually, like, the Yellow-Eyed Demon ordered it obviously, but Brady was the one who actually, like, put her on the ceiling and set her on fire. And when he's talking to Sam about that in that episode in season 5, he says something to the effect of like, you know, she was so surprised, she'd been baking cookies for you, or something like that. Like, it's just like tiny, and he like mentions the fact that there's cookies. There's such a tiny little detail, but the show is so good at doing that, at bringing in, at remembering those tiny details, and layering them into the story later on, and that's part of what makes the show so rich and makes the world so rich and full of meaning and just so robust, for lack of a better word. It's very impressive, and they, as far as I'm concerned, they did a really great job of keeping that keeping that trait throughout the series, right through all 15 seasons. They did a pretty great job of linking things together. Now, I mean, in 15 seasons worth of lore and episodes and story, you're bound to get some loopholes. You're bound to end up with, you know, a little bit of retconning, and I mean, that definitely happens later on in the later seasons. But considering everything, like 327 episodes, considering that, it's not nearly as much. There aren't nearly as many loopholes, and there isn't nearly as much retconning as you would expect there to be. Again, in my opinion, anyway. So anyway, that was the pilot. I will be back next time with the Wendigo, yeah, I'm looking forward to doing the rewatch. Let me know what your experience was like coming into Supernatural. Have you been there since the beginning? Did you find it later on like I did? What did you think about the pilot the first time you saw it? Drop a comment down below and let me know. And yeah, and I'll see you next time for episode 2. Okay, thanks guys.